Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Fall. Jersey Joe Archino back here, and welcome to my Premier League table special series. We are 8 days away from the start of the English Premier League season. The excitement is real, and in this series to this point, I've broken down who I think will finish where, and of course, number 10, I had Crystal Palace finishing in that spot at the season's end. Number 9, I have Stoke City finishing in that spot like they've done the previous 3 seasons. And then in the 8th spot, I have West Ham United. Now, West Ham finished in 7th place last season. I have them dropping to 8, but I don't think that's an indictment on them taking a step backwards. I think that's just showing how strong the Premier League is going to be this year. There's going to be new top-tier managers at clubs like Chelsea, who had a down year last year, City, who had a down year last year, and of course United. And I think many of the giants are going to reclaim their status as the best of the best. And West Ham is certainly, I think, going in the right, correct direction, but going in the 8th place, it's just they have a lot of good pieces in place. They're moving to, of course, the Olympic Stadium, which will be very exciting to see what they do there. But I just think the Premier League is going to be so strong this year. But West Ham, last season, every time one of the top-tier teams played West Ham, that was always a match I was circling on my calendar because West Ham is not a side I ever want to play. If you're a manager for a top-tier club, West Ham gives you fits. They are so difficult to play against. They always make it close and always make it competitive. They are not a side that I ever want to face, and they're always going to hold their own against the top-tier clubs. But we kind of look at what they did last season: 16 wins, 14 draws, 8 losses. I think that's not a bad kind of way that they did things, and they're climbing up. I mean, in 2013-14, they finished in 13th place. Then 2014, 15th, 12th place, and then last season they find their way into the 7th place spot. And I think now, when you look at what they're kind of built in, look like what they can do this next season, I don't think that it's outside of anywhere to think that 8th is a fair place for them to finish. But one of the guys that you have to be so excited to see what he does and how he improves this season is Dimitri Payet. Payet, of course, one of the faces of Euro 2016, and I don't think that there was any question that for a while in that competition, he was the best player. He took over the competition on day one, and he carried that mantle with him for quite a long time in that one, and to see what he can do and what he did in the Premier League last season: 9 goals, 12 assists, incredible numbers. I mean, for a guy like him to do what he did last season, I think the confidence that will build with him from what happened in Euro 2016, of course, devastating finish for France. I don't think that that's anything that's going to be easy to shake off, but his performances were tremendous. He had a very good tournament in that competition, and I'm very excited to see how is that going to carry over for them. And of course, Andy Carroll, what he did: 9 goals from him last season, 9 goals from Payet. Payet is just such a dynamic and such an interesting guy to have, and he's so dangerous in the fact that he's able to maintain that top-scoring form, and he always has that opportunity and that ability to get his teammates involved, get them set up, and that's such an important trait to have in the Premier League because so many guys are just looking and have tunnel vision, are looking one way. Even some of the best strikers do that so much of the time. Payet is not that at all. He has that unique ability where he can find people. You saw the laser passes he was able to make in this tournament this past summer. Payet is posed for such a great year this upcoming year. I think what you have to look at more than anything is what did they do against the clubs that really did matter last season. They drew and they beat City. They beat Liverpool twice. They split against Spurs. Very, very solid against the top-tier clubs. Now, this season, it's not, of course, not going to be as easy. I think City is just going to take that mantle back. United takes that mantle back. Chelsea takes that step back forward. But West Ham, like I kind of referenced at the top, it's not a club anyone ever wants to play against. They're always bringing it. They create so many matchup problems with their toughness. Moving into the Olympic Stadium is going to bring them even more newfound confidence. Payet is going to be a better player. It all is going to work better for West Ham. But it's funny, when even saying all that, I still have them slated for that 8th place finish. And like I said at the top, that's just not an indictment on them. That just shows the strength of the Premier League and where this league continues to go with all the top-tier managers moving into where they are. But I think it's going to be a good year for West Ham. They continue to move and improve, but the Premier League is just going to be so strong. As we continue in this series, though, we're moving into the 7th place side, which I'll unveil in the next episode. And like I said, and I've been saying all along, there is a tremendous drop-off between the top 7 clubs in this league and everyone else. That's just the way it is. Sometimes that's how the leagues go, but in European football, if you give me 7 clubs that can be that competitive, you can't really find that in Italy. You can't really find that in Spain. You can't really find that in Germany, and you certainly can't find it in France. It's something unique to the Premier League, and it's why it's the most competitive and it's the most worthwhile league to watch in the world. But until the next episode, Jersey Joe Archino here with the Sports Vault. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Archino and on Instagram, Jersey_Joe_Archino, and I'll catch everybody next time.